Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we'll read the literary section, the book Hornbill, and the poetry section of class 11, the A Photograph by Shelley Tolson. So come to the poem. Let's will start the first stanza. And the cardboard shows me how it was, and when the two girls' cousins went paddling, and each one holding one of my mother's hands, and see the big girl, some 12 years or so, all three stood still to smile through their hair, at the uncle with the camera. So let's start some. Write down the difficult word notes. Now, what is a cardboard? And a cardboard is especially a stiff and very thick paperboard. And paddling, it means it is boating. But here it means walking or standing with bare feet in shallow water. Some, it means about, still, silent, without moving. Okay. Let's start. The poem, the title is A Photograph, and there is a relation, and what the relation is, a photograph and a cardboard. So yes, it is simply that the word cardboard. The cardboard very steep and thick paper, and here the cardboard is a part of the frame that keeps the photograph intact, and its use in the poem is ironical. It's the photograph of that 12-year-old girl, Shep, who herself was terribly transient, and she had died years ago. And here means the photograph is less visible and the cardboard is much more visible. यहाँ क्या हो रहा है? The photograph is faded away. फोटोग्राफ फीका पड़ गया है, कार्डबोर्ड ज़्यादा एक ironical है. So the word is in the photograph, and the poet described here as the cardboard. It is the cardboard here much more visible. Okay, and then let's start. And the next one is, and come to the point. And the poet looks at the cardboard frame of an old photograph. It was an old photograph, and the photograph show two girls holding the hand of the poet's mother, and they had gone for a sea bath. Out of those three, and his mother was the biggest one, or the eldest girl. Perhaps she was near 12 years old, and all of them were standing at the sea beach, and they stood silently, smiling through their hair, and watching at the uncle, and who was with a camera. Okay. So students, and what does the cardboard show? Here the answer is, the cardboard shows the poet's mother, and she was standing at the beach with her two girl cousins. Second question, do you see the poet in the photograph? If not, why? आप फोटोग्राफ में पोएट को देख पाए क्या या क्यों? So the answer is no. She is in the photograph. The poet is not in the photograph, as she was born at that time. The third question, and who was the big? How old was she? यहाँ जो बिग गर्ल वर्ड यूज हुआ है वो बिग गर्ल कौन है और हाउ ओल्ड शी वाज, उनको कितना साल हो रहा था. सो द आंसर इज द बिग वाज द पोएट्स मदर and she was about 12 years old. Then fourth question, and who was standing with the camera and where? The answer is, the uncle was standing with the camera at the sea beach. The last one is, explain went paddling. Paddling का मीनिंग क्या है? went paddling. And here paddling स्पेशली क्या होता है? बोटिंग से भी रिलेटेड है. But went paddling here means went for wading or bathing in the shallow water of the sea. Okay, thank you student. And next to the next stanza. Come to the next stanza. And a sweet face my mother's, that was before I was born, and the sea which appears to have changed less was their terribly transient fate. And the difficult word notes. Sweet here in this paragraph is the attack face of her mother, and terribly here means the great, अत्यधिक, बहुत ज़्यादा. And transient here means the momentary, and the mortal means क्षणिक, जो क्षणभंगुर होता है, जो नासवान है, and human being are mortal So we all should die one day or someday. So in this stanza, the poet want to say that was the time when the poet was not even born. At that time, her mother's face was sweet and attractive. A sweet face, my mother's. It means at that time, her mother's face was sweet and attractive, and she was standing at the sea beach, and at the sea beach, and the sea was not much. The sea was not changed much, but the face of the mother seems to have changed a lot with the passage of time. And the poet's mother and the two girls' cousins stood there, and the sea was washing their mortal feet. The transient feet means the mortal feet, and the transient feet means those person who will die someday. And that poet is here express here that the thing is that the transient feet, the mortal feet, the people or means her mother is no more now, so that it is the transient feet. Okay, and then the important questions: and where was the mother standing and why? The answer is at the beach, and she had gone there for a holiday at the sea. How did she look at the time? She looked very sweet and young at that time. Third one, compare the change that comes in the mother and in the sea. The sea doesn't show much of a change, and it means that the poet's mother is mortal. It is obviously physical changes with the passage of time. The fourth one, and where the fate of all the terribly transient. Terribly transient क्यों कहा गया है? And here, compared to the sea, the three girls are mortal. So, you human being are mortal. So, I will say or other and momentary existence. And then the final word in the passage that means momentary. It means transient. The transient. Okay. And next, come to the third stanza. Next stanza. Some 20 years later, and she would laugh at the snapshot. See, Betty and Dolly, and look how they dressed us for the beach. And the sea was her mine is her lover. Both ray with the labor applause. And write down the difficult words. Snaps. That's a photograph. That's photo. Right. And disappointed with the ironical situation. And means expressing wound and the amusement भी है, disappointment भी है. This is ironical situation. And what is that is comfort condition, comfort, आराम. And so the photograph was taken 30 years before. 20 or 30 years passed since the photograph had been taken. And whenever the mother looked at the photograph, and she would laugh, and she would point out to Dolly and Betty how they would dress up by their parents for the sea holiday. Sea holiday के लिए वो लोग कैसे ड्रेस अप हुए थे, ओके, और उसके लिए वो खुद हंस सके. And that were holiday had become, and that sea holiday had become a thing of the past, the mother. But here it is, but the sweet offer of the poet's mother and which the photograph had captured its own past. या दो चीज़ बताया गया. तो सी बीच का एंजॉयमेंट था वो मदर के लिए पास्ट था, उसके फेस में जो स्वीट लाफर है ये पोएट के लिए पास्ट हो गया. ओके, सो बोथ वर लूजिंग द थिंग्स, बोथ ऑफ देम सफर फ्रॉम द सेंस ऑफ लॉस. Ironically, both of them were laboring to ease the loss. Two loss. The mother is losing the past, and also the poet is losing her mother's sweet lover. Okay. Here the important questions. Who is she in the passage? And she is the poet's mother here. And who were Betty and Dolly? The Betty and Dolly were girl cousins of poet's mother. Third one is, why did laugh at the snapshot? जो snapshot था उसको क्यों हंस रहे थे? Mother laughed at the snapshot as they were dressed up quite funny their parents for the sea holiday. उनके पेरेंट्स के द्वारा वो लोग फनी वे से रहते, उसके लिए उनको हंसी आ रहा था. And what is the irony for both of them? Both of them means here the poet and her mother. So the analytical thing is, the irony is that both the mother and the poet suffer from the sense of loss. दोनों का लॉस हो रहा है यहाँ. The mother lost her childhood fond and she had at the base. And in the second, the poet lost that sweet lover of her mother, which was captured by the snapshot years before. It be 20 or 30 years before. And then labor is of loss. What is labor is of loss? Labor क्या होता है? Achieved after a lot of work, जो कि बहुत सारा हार्ड वर्क करने के बाद हम लोग को मिलता है, बहुत परिश्रम से प्राप्त होता है. ईच क्या है? What is ईच? सुगमता. ईच आराम से. So that it means both of them struggle to each the sense of loss. Like the previous question answer, the irony is the poet. The irony of that, both the mother and the poet suffer from the sense of loss, that the mother has lost her childhood fond, she had the CBSE. Second, the poet lost that sweet love of her mother, as was captured by the snapshot ego. Let's come to the next answer. So the last time. Now she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived, and there is nothing to say at all. Its silence silences. Okay. One difficult word here is the circumstance. Here means it means circumstance means here the situation, the condition, avastha. Okay. And here in the last stanza, the poet says that for years. Now she has been dead many years as that girl lived. Means her mother has been dead for years and she has been dead nearly as many years as she had lived. वो जितने साल जिए थे उतने साल पहले ही उनका डेथ हो गया है. Means she has been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. Okay, and of this circumstance there is nothing to say at all, and it's silence. And she means the poet. And see, the poet has nothing to say about the circumstance of her mother's death and about the sea, and also both things, not about the death and also the situation captured in the photograph, but only silence only brings out and makes things mysterious. Okay, this is only silence and silence. We could not say anything. We could not question the time. We could not question the mortality, whoever it is. We could not question about the death. So this is only its silence, and it's a mystery of life. Okay. Some important question. And when did the poet's mother die? And the poet's mother died about 30 years before, 20-30 years before. Here it is means 30 years ago. And explain that girl lived. Means she has been dead for as many years the number of years she lived. वो जितने साल जिए थे उनका जो एज था उतने साल डेथ अप हो गया. Means 30 years before. And then what is this circumstances? What is this? The circumstance means here the condition of her death. The condition of her death means the poet's death. And how does silence identify more silence? The poet's silence gives part to the part of silence, new silence, the part of silence here. And then give the opposite of silence and use it in a sentence of your own. That is silence opposite is noisy. That is noise. Don't make a noise in the. Thank you, student. So students, a photograph, the poem by Shelley Tolson's, describe 3 stages. In the first stage, the photograph shows the poet's mother standing at the beach and enjoying a holiday with her 2 cousins, and she was at the time 12 years old or so. And the second stage here, it takes us 20 or 30 years later, and the poet's mother would laugh at the way she and her cousins Betty and Dolly were dressed up for the occasion. And the poet remembers her mother with a heavy heart. So the photograph revives the feeling in the poet. And the main points are the poet look at the photograph. It shows the poet's mother and her two girl cousins. The poet's mother stood with her two cousins at the sea beach, and they had gone there for enjoying a holiday. The mother was just a girl of 12 or so, and her uncle smiled and face of the poet's mother and her cousins in the camera. And that was long ago when the poet was not even born. Some 30 or 20 years, 20 or 30 years passed. The mother wrote laugh at the photograph and to her cousin Betty and Dolly, and the way they were dressed up for the beach. The sea holiday had become a thing of the past for the, and the poet's mother's sweet smile become things of the past for the poet. The mother has been dead. There is nothing but a pall of silence all around. So, thank you students for watching the video, and please subscribe and like for the next update. Thank you.